All right, let's talk about one of the most powerful and honestly most underrated features for anybody building on Shopify today, Meta Objects. Seriously, if you build headless e-commerce sites, this is one of those tools that can completely change your entire workflow and, more importantly, the value you give to your clients. Okay, let's paint a picture. You've just launched this beautiful, blazing fast, custom-built headless Shopify store. It's perfect. But, a week goes by and you get that email. Hey, how do I change the headline on the homepage for our new sale? It's such a simple request, right? But for them, there's just no button to click. They're stuck. They need you. And this really gets to the core of the problem we've always had to deal with. With the standard Shopify theme, your clients get that amazing visual editor. They can just drag, drop, add sections, change text, swap out images all by themselves. It's super empowering for them. But the moment we go headless to get that sweet, sweet performance, we usually rip that power right out of their hands, making them completely dependent on us for even the smallest content updates. But what if you could have the best of both worlds? What if you could get the incredible speed of headless and give your clients the easy content management that they love? Well, that's exactly what Shopify Meta Objects are for. This is Shopify's native answer to this huge headless challenge. So, what even are they? At their core, Meta Objects let you create your own custom data structures right inside the Shopify admin. The best way to think about it is that you're turning Shopify into its own lightweight, totally integrated headless CMS, which, by the way, means for a lot of projects, you might not even need third-party tools like Sanity or Contentful anymore. And that's the biggest advantage right there. You are not juggling multiple systems. All your product data and all your website content data live together, side by side, in one single place. It's so much cleaner for you to manage and way, way simpler for your client to actually use. So how does this whole thing work in practice? Well, it's actually really simple. The whole process boils down to just two main steps. I like to think of it as first, you create a blueprint, and then you add the content. First, you, the developer, create what Shopify calls a definition. That's our blueprint. It sets up the structure for the content. Then your client comes in and adds an entry based on that blueprint you just made. And that's where they fill in all the actual content for the website. So step one is all about the structure. As the developer, you pop into the Shopify admin and you create a new meta object definition. This is where you add all the fields your client is going to need. Maybe a field for a headline, one for an image, another for some button text. You're basically building the exact form they're going to fill out later. And then step two, well, this is where the magic really happens for your client. They just go to the content section in their Shopify admin, they pick the blueprint you made, and voila! A simple, clean form appears. They just fill in the headline, upload their image, hit save, and that's it. No code, no confusion, it just works. Okay, theory is great, but let's make this really concrete. We're going to walk through a real-world example that I guarantee we've all built dozens of times, a fully editable homepage hero section. So our goal here is simple. We want to create a structure inside the Shopify admin that lets the store owner easily update their main homepage banner whenever they want without ever having to call us. So this is exactly what we'd build. We'd create a meta object definition, we'd call it homepage hero, and then we'd add 3 fields to it. A single line text field for the image title, which is going to be our main headline, then a file field for the hero image itself, and finally another text field for the button text. It's that simple, super structured, and perfectly clear. And the moment that blueprint is saved, the client's job becomes incredibly easy. They just go create a new homepage hero entry, and they see those exact fields we just defined, all ready for their content. They can type in summer sale on now, upload a brand new banner, change the button to say shop the sale, and they are done. And this quote right here, it just captures the entire philosophy behind this approach perfectly. You're not just building a website. You're building a self-sufficient product. The goal is to empower that store owner so they can manage their entire business, content included, from the one single place they already know and trust, the Shopify dashboard. Okay, so we've got all this great structured content sitting inside Shopify, but how do we actually pull it out and show it on our live Next.js or Hydrogen sites? This is the final piece of the puzzle, and don't worry, it's not as complex as it sounds. We just use a pretty simple GraphQL query with Shopify's Storefront API to go and grab the content our client just entered. And really, you do not need to be a GraphQL wizard to do this. The query itself is very straightforward. You basically just tell it to look for the meta object using its unique type and handle. Then you ask for the specific fields you need, like the image title. For files, it's just a tiny bit different. You ask for the reference, and that gives you back the image URL you need for your front end. And that little query just lives in your front end code. So every single time the page loads, it fetches the absolute latest content from that meta object. And what that means is any change your client makes in the Shopify admin shows up on the live website almost instantly. It's a game changer. Okay, so let's zoom out for a second. This isn't just some neat technical trick. This is about fundamentally changing the value of the headless websites you're building. And this is the number that really says it all. You are giving 100% of the day-to-day content control right back to the store owner, all inside the platform they already use every single day. You're removing yourself as the bottleneck. And the payoff for you is huge. Your clients are happier because they actually feel in control. You spend way less time answering support emails for simple text or image swaps. And because of that, your headless projects become so much more valuable and competitive because they now come with a built-in, user-friendly CMS. You're not just delivering a fast website anymore. You're delivering a complete, empowering solution. By using meta objects this way, you've effectively turned Shopify into the CMS for your entire headless build. You can create structures for testimonials, for lookbooks, for special announcement banners, featured collections, literally anything you can imagine. The power is now completely in your hands. So the only real question left is, what are you going to build first?